Welcome back, Pokemon fans, and a big hello from Wyndham Stadium, where crowds have gathered to watch what could be the match of the year. I am your host, Tom Ado, and I'm here with Cantonian Pokemon League official Ronnie Pepper. How are you today, Ronnie?
Quite good, quite good.
So Ronnie, we have got a heck of a match today. It's going to be a multi-battle featuring young trainers from leagues all across the world. Come together here at Wyndham to put on a show for all of the people of Galar.
That's very true, Tom, and personally, I can't wait to see what these kids can do.
I couldn't agree with you more, Ron. But first, let's have a look at each of the contestants and their stories. The first contender on our list today is Eminem from Kalos. Eminem has seen 372 Pokemon in the Galar Pokedex, of which he has caught 288. He's cooked 7 different kinds of curry and spent a good amount of time competing in the Rotom Rally. Eminem stated in an interview that he regrets that his loyal partner Decidueye could not join him in the Galar League. But as we all know, Rowlets are considered to be an invasive species and a threat to the ecosystem here in Galar, causing them to be banned from competition. According to Eminem, he's actually in his 30s but remains trapped in the body of a 10-year-old due to some manner of curse. When asked how that came to happen, Eminem answered, "An old woman told me to have a nice day, and I told her, don't tell me how to live my life. And then she cursed me to be 10 forever. That was 20 years ago."
It sounds like you should have been nicer to your elders, Eminem.
The next contestant in this match is Firehawk from the Johto region. If you'll recall, a few years back, Firehawk and his partner Espeon took the Johto League by storm when they defeated the Elite Four. We sat down with Firehawk and asked him about his rise to become the Johto champion, and he told us that it's easy to win when you have the proper motivation. Quote,
"I'm a simple dude. I like petty cash and I like pretty girls. And you know what? The champion gets the money, and the champion gets the honey."
Firehawk has only seen 67 different species on his Galar journey, of which he's caught 60. He's only cooked 1 kind of curry and stated, "I don't need to cook nothing. As the Johto champion, I got money to pay people to cook for me. What do I look like? Some kind of peasant? Shit."
That's the champion spirit, Firehawk.
Third of our contestants comes all the way from the Alola region, and that is TFK. Now, TFK has competed in a number of leagues around the world, most recently becoming the first champion of the newly found Alolan Pokemon League. TFK states that even though he hails from Alola, his first Pokemon journey was across the Kanto region, where he obtained Bulbasaur as his first Pokemon partner. Said Bulbasaur later became the Venusaur that he dominated the Alolan Pokemon League with. TFK has seen 185 Pokemon in his trek across Galar, of which he has caught 181. He's cooked 17 kinds of curry and has done decently in the Rotom Rally. When we asked TFK if he had anything to say to his legion of fans, TFK said, quote, "Marnie, would you please return my calls? That thing with Nessa was a one-time thing and she meant nothing to me." We reached out to Holbury gym leader Nessa for a comment regarding this statement, and she responded, quote, "It was certainly not a one-time thing."
The people from Alola sure do get around, don't they, Tom?
And the last contestant for today is the mystery man from Hoenn, Helix. Helix has seen 120 Pokemon in his Galar Dex, of which he has caught 94. He has cooked 5 types of curry and doesn't seem to care about the Rotom Rally much. We have seen Helix decimate all challengers with his trusty Inteleon by his side, all without ever speaking a single word. Challengers who have faced defeat against Helix are quoted with saying, "He never spoke a command. He simply stood there and stared into my soul while his Pokemon went berserk on mine." Gym leaders of the Galar region commented on Helix's performance, saying, "He obtained all of his badges as a formality. His Pokemon obey him out of fear." We sat down with Helix for an interview, but he refused to comment on anything we asked, choosing instead to stare blankly at the camera. The footage of our interview was promptly thrown into an incinerator, as anyone who watched the recording was stricken with seizures and plagued by horrible nightmares.
Ha ha! That kid cracks me up, Tom.
Well, that's all we have on our contestants, and I'm told by the ref that they have divided into teams and are entering the stadium.
It looks like TFK and M&M will be facing off against Helix and Firehawk.
That sounds like an exciting battle, Ron. Let's go live to the stadium floor, where the battle is commencing. Battle's commencing. It is TFK and M&M versus Firehawk and Helix. Let's see how this fares for these young dynamos. Helix and Firehawk starting out strong with two incredibly tough-looking Pokemon, Ferrothorn and Tyranitar, and M&M and TFK responding in kind with a Gyarados and a Turtonator. Gyarados bringing the intimidation out into the field, staring the opponents down and making them think twice before pulling anything.
Helix's Tyranitar bringing a sandstorm. The entire crowd is in a hush.
Helix pulling Tyranitar back. I guess the intimidation from Gyarados was just a little too much, and Inteleon comes in to take its place. M&M putting out that shell trap, and Gyarados hitting Inteleon for a decent amount of damage. Firehawk putting down the Ingrain, hoping to maintain his position here in the field. He is not planning on going anywhere anytime soon. Sandstorm does damage to all of the active Pokemon on the field except for Ferrothorn. And it looks like TFK has Dynamax Energy ready. Will he Dynamax this early in the game?
I gotta tell you, Tom, I don't think that Dynamaxing this early is a wise idea. I think it's always best saved for a last resort.
Inteleon using Snipe Shot. And that's a one-hit, one-kill from Inteleon onto M&M's Turtonator. TFK using Thunder Wave. And Inteleon is now hindered by paralysis.
Looks like Firehawk's putting out the entry hazards, making sure that anything that comes in will suffer damage. M&M's Flapple takes damage from the entry hazards. And now all Pokemon are in a bit of an interesting position.
M&M's Flapple having taken damage. He is not generally a very defensive Pokemon. He could suffer very heavily for that. Inteleon being switched out.
Due to paralysis, no doubt. Helix trying to play it safe.
Coming in with Tyranitar, is that a wise idea?
Well, based on what we just saw happen right now, Tom, I think that that was probably the best possible idea. But oh! Heavy damage from M&M's Flapple onto Helix's Tyranitar, but Tyranitar standing his ground, not ready to give up the fight.
Ferrothorn raising his defense. Firehawk clearly intending to play the long game in this battle. And TFK again with the Dynamax Energy ready to go if the situation calls for it. TFK hitting Tyranitar with a Thunder Wave.
That's interesting that he didn't go for the knockout there, Tom. But not a problem. It looks like M&M picked it up and knocked out the Tyranitar.
Ferrothorn again, raising its defense. Firehawk clearly intending to go absolutely nowhere. All active Pokemon except for Ferrothorn taking damage from the Sandstorm. And now we wait to see what Helix will do. And that's a Charizard out on the field. What will happen? It looks like Helix has Dynamax ready to go, and so does M&M.
TFK will probably go for the waterfall onto the Charizard. Maybe get that knockout. It'll come into a contest of speed to see who will hit first, Charizard or Gyarados. M&M switching out his Flapple for a Centiskorch. Maybe trying to mitigate the amount of damage that he takes from a Charizard's full-powered flamethrower.
And Helix going Dynamax, and holy moly, that is one dangerous looking Pokemon. Centiskorch taking no damage from Charizard's attack, and Gyarados dealing an insane amount of damage onto that Charizard. Maybe things won't go the way that Helix was intending after all.
You know, it's funny, Tom, we mentioned that the Dynamax mechanic should be saved for a desperate situation, and it looks like that's precisely what Helix was going for, but the odds just weren't in his favor in this particular battle. He's facing off against two Pokemon that are not gonna take a lot of damage from his fire-type attacks, and even though he is Gigantamax at this moment, there's really not a whole lot that he can accomplish here.
TFK responding with his own Dynamax. Gyarados growing exponentially, and the crowd going wild watching these two behemoth Pokemon facing each other down. And again, who is going to move first? Looks like it's Charizard, and Centiskorch goes down hard. But here we go, TFK responding in kind with a Gigantamax attack of his own, and that is it for Helix's Charizard, who goes down.
You know, it's kind of funny, Tom. Firehawk has not been touched at all during this battle.
That is interesting, Ron. And, you know, he really hasn't been attacking anyone either. And mostly he's just kind of been building up his defenses, but we saw just now that he hit TFK's Gyarados with a Gyro Ball, and Gyarados didn't take a whole lot of damage from that, but that is Firehawk's first offensive move this entire battle.
Helix's Inteleon comes right back out, still paralyzed, and Flapple hurt again by the spikes dropped by Firehawk's Ferrothorn earlier. TFK in the same position that Helix was with his Charizard just a little bit ago. The Pokemon facing him out in the field right now will not take a lot of damage from anything that he does. He's just got to make do with what he can do, and it looks like he went with the Max Darkness onto that Ferrothorn. And M&M dropping that Grab Apple onto Inteleon, knocking him out. That takes Helix completely out of the battle. And Firehawk looks like he's still 100% revving to go. We have to wonder what other Pokemon he's holding in reserve.
Looks like TFK hitting for everything that he can hit for, trying to do as much damage as possible while he's still in Gigantamax. And M&M increasing his attack and speed significantly. Maybe he's intending to be the one to end this battle. Damage done by Gyro Ball onto Flapple is minimal. And Firehawk seems to be having a hard time holding on. Ferrothorn doing a lot of damage to itself with its held item.
Certainly more damage than the two contestants have been doing to him.
M&M going for the Draco Meteor. How much damage could that possibly deal onto that Ferrothorn? Just enough to knock it out.
But it drops his special attack drastically, and now we have to see what Firehawk intends to do in this dire situation. His partner is completely out of the battle, and he's got 2 Pokemon in reserve, and he's facing down 2 incredibly strong opponents, who have by and large been dominating this battle.
That is a Dragapult on the side of Firehawk. Dragapult is extremely dangerous with very high attack, very high speed. This Pokemon could easily dance circles around the opposing team. Dragon Darts will attack both opponents. Oh, and Flapple goes down with the first hit. Second dart hits Gyarados head on, but Gyarados still has strength to go. Oh, and Dragapult avoiding the Thunder Wave, ensuring that his speed will still be the highest on the field.
M&M completely out of the battle now. It is TFK versus Firehawk, and Firehawk is bringing the heat. Gyarados goes down, and now the playing field has been leveled.
Both contestants have 2 Pokemon remaining, and both Pokemon that remain completely at full health. Well, with the exception of Tyranitar now. He entered and stepped right onto those spikes, taking a little bit of damage, not an awful lot, but could still be the game changer. We don't know quite yet. Firehawk going for that Dragon Dance, obviously intending to do as much damage as possible to his opponent. But here goes Tyranitar with the crunch, and no! No, 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 no! Denied! Firehawk taking an absolutely immense amount of damage from one single hit, leaving him with one last Pokemon standing to TFK's 2. And it looks like TFK has the type advantage in this last stand.
Avoiding the damage, Firehawk's Avalugg starts a Hailstorm, canceling out Tyranitar's Sandstream, and potentially increasing his own health with each turn if he has the Ice Body ability. Opponents are having a standoff, staring each other down. And TFK goes for the Stone Edge. That is a lot of damage onto Firehawk's Avalugg.
Firehawk's Avalugg decreasing its own speed, but increasing its attack and defense. Hail hitting Tyranitar for just a tiny bit of damage, while Firehawk's Avalugg recovers health from the hail. TFK going for the attack again, and not enough to take down the Avalugg. This thing is a beast.
Speed goes down once more, but attack and defense increase.
Health being recovered again thanks to its ability as well as its held item. But will it be enough to withstand the full force of another Stone Edge?
And the answer to that, Tom, is a resounding no. Avalugg goes down, and this battle goes to TFK and MNM. And with that, it is our time to sign off. We want to thank you all for watching, and remind you that this Pokemon battle was made possible by the Frog King. Remember to like and subscribe the Frog King's channel, and hit the notifications to be alerted anytime new videos are posted.
And until next time, we have been Tom Ado
and Ronnie Pepper, and we salute you.